So what is this ancient persecution wound that I keep talking about? And why are we still carrying this energy in our throat chakra? Now, the ancient persecution wound is when you get persecuted for being yourself, when you literally have to fear death for expressing your spiritual gifts, for expressing your divine talents, for expressing your opinions, for expressing your thoughts. And this throughout our lineage and throughout centuries, throughout generations, we have actually gone through many lifetimes, potentially. All of us have actually, it's not even a potential, that we have endured physical injury to our throat. Maybe we lost our lives. Maybe we had our head cut off in a past life, right? This is a very common way of losing your life, of persecuting for being you. Even if you think of the witch hunts back in the day, when people were expressing healing abilities and they got burnt at the stake for that. People who had talents had to stop doing it. Women who were suppressed from expressing what we really feel. So all of this stuff is carried there to different degrees. And we still carry this as healers, as empaths, as creatives, as sensitive beings. We still carry that I could be persecuted, I could lose my life for really coming into the limelight and saying how I feel, for really going against the matrix programming, for creating leadership, either on a public scale or just within our families. We even face persecution within our families, within even partnerships with two people, friendships, for saying, hey, this is actually the way. So this is something that we are all still carrying to varying degrees. And what we have made it mean is that it is not safe to be ourselves. It's not safe to be seen for who we are. We need to tone down a lot of what we think, feel, and be. And we can't really share our truth. We can't really be vulnerable. And this can show up in relationships. Intimate relationships can seem out of reach because we can't truly share our truth from a place of love. We feel stifled to express ourselves in many ways. And in yesterday's talk, when I was talking about the sacred ancient secrets of love, right? Go check that talk out if you want to upgrade your relationships massively. I was also saying that, communication, like when we are programmed to communicate in a certain way, because there's so much information out there about how you should communicate and the words you should say. And actually, different cultures have different ways of communicating. Some cultures are more fiery than others. Some are more muted than others. Like being British and being Indian, I can truly see the differences in how both cultures communicate. British people, which I'm proud to be both, so I'm not denying one or the other. I'm just showing you the difference. British people are very careful with their words. They're very there's not many variation in their tone, and of course I have that as well. But Indian people are really passionate and fiery and really and sometimes dramatic, and that's how they express. And I felt a very kind of tugging because it's like they're very polarizing ways of communicating. You can't use one to the other culture, right? So we all have our ways. But when we are programmed, when we are told you should say this and you shouldn't say that, and why did you do this? And we start suppressing that energy? And then that energy starts building up. And it either comes out in the wrong way at the wrong time, or we just suppress, and we can't even get our words out. And then when we get to adult life, or this can even continue happening in your adult life, like even in your intimate relationships, like how many of you in the heat of the moment, when there is something like conflict, which actually when you work on your throat chakra, conflicts actually get less, by the way. But if you are in a state of conflict, you can't find your voice because you're so used to suppressing it, or the ancient persecution wound is so deep within you that the signals are don't speak, otherwise you're going to lose your life. Like it generally feels like I used to be that person that when I was confronted, I would just feel like I would like never cry apart from that time where it was like I really wanted to express myself and I couldn't get the words out. And I would cry because it was like, oh my God, the frustration. Because on a soul level, even on a biological level, I will go as far to say that the body has remembered through the generations the ancient persecution wound. That if I say the wrong thing, I can lose my life. I can lose love. I can lose wealth, like whatever is, significant at the time. So we just shut down and we say we're not going to speak. Or we go the other way and like speak, and speak and say the wrong things that we don't even mean. That's overactive throat chakra, and underactive is like suppression. Now, it also can affect wealth because whether you're an entrepreneur or you are somebody who is in the workforce, it can affect you in many ways because a lot of amazing women, talented women I've met, and men actually, and men, they have so much to give and so much to share, but because they're not confident in their abilities to stand up and speak, they tend to fall in the background. They tend to like lose out on opportunities. They tend to like just, fall back and stay in positions that are more of like a hiding role, more of a background scenes role. And look, if you're made to do this, it's not bad to be that. But if you're yearning, if you feel like I could have got that promotion if I did that presentation, or if I'd really gone to my boss and told them how I feel, I could have, like there's some people that just tell people how they feel. But also likewise, if you're someone with overactive and you're like saying the wrong thing all the time and putting your foot in it, or your tone, or like you're rubbing people up the wrong way, this is still something going on here. And with entrepreneurship, people say like, I just don't have that confidence to come out there and be who I am and like say what I feel. Like I'm great at channeling, I get so many downloads, but I can't share it. Or I'm great at singing and I can't like do it. Or I just want to, the one thing that I'm comfortable with my business just going the way it is, but I know that if I really came out and I really stood in front of my people, that they would shift. Same with, family relationships as well. Like when we just feel unheard and unseen. Now, spiritually, it really also prevents us leaning more and more into our soul design and soul destiny, because the more we don't speak our truth and the more we don't really share what from our heart and soul, and the more we keep hiding, spiritually, we're going against ourselves. We're going against who we are. We're going against our soul destiny, our soul design, and our soul legacy. We're actually denying the truth of who we are. We are trying to just get by, but this will affect you spiritually because, when the more you lean into who you are, your intuition, your downloads, the channeling, everything is going to flow so much better. That is the answer for you to know what your next steps are always. No other human is going to be saying to you, you should do this, you should do that. That's their truth, unless they are a clear mirror who have worked through the issues and they mirror you back to you. But they should never be saying to you, do this, do that. That is conditioning. When people come to me, I definitely say what I mirror back to them what I see is going on and what they, I do use the word should, what they should do, but I am saying it in terms of their soul design. It's not what I would do. It's what just from what I know of them.